Multiple media outlets are now reporting that pop singer Michael Jackson has died. Jackson was not breathing when paramedics arrived at his home after a 911 call.
On June 25, 2009, the news spread so quickly that many people struggled to believe it at first. Reports emerged that Michael Jackson had been rushed to a hospital in Los Angeles, and within hours, the announcement millions had feared was confirmed. Michael Jackson had died at the age of 50, bringing an unexpected end to the life and career of one of the most influential entertainers in music history.
When I first heard that Michael had died, I was in London, days away from the opening of my tour. Michael was going to perform in the same venue as me a week later. All I could think about in that moment was, I had abandoned him, that we had abandoned him, that we had allowed this magnificent creature that once set the world on fire to somehow slip through the cracks.
As the news spread across the world, tributes quickly began pouring in from celebrities who had known Michael, worked alongside him, or simply grown up inspired by his music. Many of their first reactions reflected the same disbelief felt by millions of fans. For those who had shared personal and professional moments with Michael, accepting that he was truly gone was incredibly difficult, and their words revealed the profound impact his passing had on people throughout the entertainment world.
It can't be true. No one have I ever met quite like that young man. You know, and to have it end like that saddens me.
As the news spread across the world, tributes quickly began pouring in from celebrities who had known Michael, worked alongside him, or simply grown up inspired by his music. Many of their first reactions reflected the same disbelief felt by millions of fans. For those who had shared personal and professional moments with Michael, accepting that he was truly gone was incredibly difficult, and their words revealed the profound impact his passing had on people throughout the entertainment world.
Was dead was a total shock to my system. I was out with a real estate broker at the time looking at some properties, and my wife called me. She's crying. I said, "What are you crying about? You know, Michael, what about Michael's dead?"
Smokey Robinson could clearly remember the moment he learned of Michael Jackson's death. He recalled looking at properties when his wife called him, so overwhelmed with emotion that she could barely get the words out. Having known Michael since he was a young performer, Smokey never expected to receive news like that. When his wife finally told him what had happened, his first reaction was disbelief. Like many who had known Michael personally, he found it incredibly difficult to accept that someone he had watched grow up was suddenly gone.
The magic of Michael Jackson. Everyone, I want you to put your lighters in the air, put your glow sticks in the air, put your cell phones in the air, and help me celebrate Michael's life.
Quincy Jones also spoke about the disbelief he felt after Michael Jackson's passing. One thought stayed with him more than any other. At 76 years old, he had never imagined that Michael, who was only 50, would pass away before him. After everything they had shared throughout their careers, the loss was deeply personal. Together, they had created some of the most influential music of their lives, but over the years their relationship had grown far beyond that of producer and artist. When Quincy reflected on Michael's death, it was clear he was mourning not only a remarkable collaborator, but also someone he had cared about for decades. 0-37.
Michael Jackson, I have a little bit more to say than that. Okay, here we go again. Michael Jackson was born in August 1958. So was I. Michael Jackson grew up in the suburbs of the Midwest. So did I. Michael Jackson had 8 brothers and sisters. So do I. When Michael Jackson was 6, he became a superstar and was perhaps the world's most beloved child. When I was 6, my mother died. I think he got the shorter end of the stick. I never had a mother, but he never had a childhood. And when you never get to have something, you become obsessed by it. I spent my childhood searching for my mother figures. Sometimes I was successful. But how do you recreate your childhood when you are under the magnifying glass of the world for your entire life? There is no question that Michael Jackson was one of the greatest talents the world has ever known.
For Beyoncé, Michael Jackson's passing was deeply personal because he had been one of the artists who inspired her to pursue a career in music. She had admired his performances since childhood, and his influence helped shape her own ambitions as an entertainer. During her *IM World Tour in 2009, Beyoncé honored Michael by dedicating part of a performance to his memory, transforming one of her own songs into a heartfelt tribute. It was her way of expressing gratitude to the artist whose work had inspired her long before she ever stepped onto the world stage.
I was not influenced by Michael. I consider myself very fortunate to have had the opportunity to share the stage with him, to know him personally, and I am always going to remember, and I'll be a fan for life. This is a tragedy, to say the least, and has affected all of us. My heart goes out to his family. My heart goes out to his fans. Most importantly, my heart goes out to his mother and also his children. But it's definitely...
Chris Brown was another artist whose career had been shaped by Michael Jackson's influence. Nearly a year after Michael's passing, he paid tribute to him during the 2010 BET Awards. The performance began with Chris confidently recreating some of Michael's signature choreography. But when it transitioned into *Man in the Mirror*, the emotion became overwhelming. As he tried to sing, he struggled to continue, creating one of the most memorable and heartfelt moments of the tribute.
UCLA, it reveals details of Jackson's death, and it reads, "The legendary king of pop, Michael Jackson, passed away on Thursday, June 25, 2009, at 2:26 p.m. It is believed he suffered cardiac arrest in his home."
Jay-Z reflected on Michael Jackson's passing from a different perspective. Rather than focusing only on the sadness of the moment, he used it to highlight the importance of appreciating people while they are still with us. He reminded audiences that Michael had spent decades creating unforgettable moments through his music and performances, leaving an extraordinary impact on millions of lives. Jay's message encouraged people not to wait until someone is gone to recognize the value of what they have contributed and the influence they have had on others.
I got a phone call from Carol Bailey Sager, and she asked me if I'd be interested in writing with her and Michael. I said absolutely, and got on a plane from New Jersey, came to LA, and went to Carol's house, and that's where I met Michael. And then he said, how would you like to produce, work with me on my album? So I would love to. He said, you got to commit yourself. And I was like, absolutely. And I worked with Michael for 3 years straight.
Madonna was in London preparing for her own tour when news of Michael Jackson's death broke. Michael had been getting ready to perform in the same city, making the loss feel especially surreal. As the initial shock faded, Madonna reflected on the way his life had unfolded in the public eye. She spoke about how someone who had once been celebrated around the world had also endured years of intense scrutiny and criticism. Looking back, she questioned how public perception had shifted so dramatically and encouraged people to think more carefully about the way influential figures are treated during their lives as well as after they are gone.
This is hard. My brother, the legendary king of pop, Michael Jackson, passed away on Thursday, June 25th.
Madonna also looked beyond the loss itself and reflected on the lasting impact Michael Jackson would continue to have. She spoke about seeing his influence reach a new generation, including her own children, who were discovering his music and performances for themselves. To her, that enduring connection showed that Michael's artistry would continue to inspire long after his passing. As she concluded her tribute, Madonna expressed her belief that although Michael was gone, his unique talent and legacy were something no one could truly replace.
He probably felt that I wasn't in touch with the market anymore. I'm being really honest now, because I remember when we were doing Bad, I had DMC in the studio because I could see what was coming with hip hop. I could see it. That's my gift. I can't drive, but I can see it in my.
For Usher, Michael Jackson's influence went far beyond shaping a generation of performers. Unlike many artists who knew him only through his music, Usher also had the opportunity to know Michael personally and even share the stage with him. Because of that, his reflections on Michael's passing carried two deeply personal perspectives. He spoke about the extraordinary artist whose work inspired countless performers, while also recognizing the profound loss being experienced by Michael's family and those who had known him personally. To Usher, Michael was not only a musical icon but also someone whose absence was felt on a deeply human level.